Okay, beim Chuck Berry zu bleiben, riding along my automobile. Well, es ist eigentlich der Jenny erst. Es ist der 500er Fiat. Es ist leider kein 2014, es ist nämlich ein 2015. Ganz neu, nagelneu, neues Armaturenbrett und alles. Ist in der Farbe Perlmutt Weiß. Sieht ganz toll aus. Beschleunigung ist ein bisschen schneller wie mit dem Schubkarren. Ich muss aufpassen, dass ich nicht gleich auf den ersten Metern alles verunglück hier. Hat Bluetooth, hat 6-Gang Automatikgetriebe mit Tiptronic, hat alles hier am Lenkrad. Hinten dran sind auch noch Knöpfe, da weiß ich noch gar nicht, für was es sind. Ist leider kein Formel 1 Schnellkupplungsteil, aber sehen wir mal, wie es geht. Da hinten fährt die Jenny. Okay guys, hi, this is Thomas. I want to go with you through a new Fiat 2015 model, the Fiat 500. We just picked it up yesterday. So far, most of it, or actually everything, is new to us. It's definitely not a high-tech car, but has a lot of features appealing to the younger generation. So I give you a little walkthrough what my impressions are. I may not be aligned with manufacturers, engineers or other guys, but well, that's just my opinion, that's what it is. Steering wheel and speedometer, they're actually nicely placed. The speedometer itself is the digital version, so it's a little different than what we had in the previous models. Has the Eco Boost, which is, I guess, in more modern cars you see this kind of a incentive to drive careful. Let's start it up. Okay, and does have various options here. You see your the typical settings from miles per gallon, trip meter and everything. So your tire pressure gauge, it's a little off, may need adjustment, but so far it's actually a nice little feature. Other things on the new pearl white, which is the color dashboard, you do have the sport button, tightens up the steering. On the automatic transmission, it upgrades or elevates the shifting point, so you can get a little sportier driving under your belt, whatever it's good for. I mean, it's a 1.4 horsepower car, so it's not a gigantic rocket. The radio is actually quite nice, has a couple features, nothing fancy, it's just standard. Blower is where it is on most cars. What I didn't like is, in case, I'll put it up here, in case you have a GPS, the power button is down here. I don't know if you guys can see it. So you actually end up running the cable, the power supply for your GPS, right across everything. And with everything so narrow, eventually it gets tangled up somehow. So that's something I'm not really happy about it. 6-speed transmission with the optional Tiptronic mode. Get used to. I mean, it's like it or don't. The transmission shifts fine actually. There is no delay I experienced with other cars between the shifting points. So it actually gradually increases the speed without any hesitation. The window switches are located in the center dash. detracts a little bit from the actual area, from the window, where you only have your mirror adjustments. Get used to it. Some like it, some think it's a distraction being away from the window, but so be it. Seats are nice, okay, it's nice and small. Obviously the heritage of the 500 Fiat was a small car, yeah, so you can't make really a gigantic thing out of it. The rear seats, I have to say, probably just for little kids, and that's about it. They split in the middle, so you can fold down the seat back and increase your loading capacity a little bit, which is nice. Obviously you want to maximize what you can do with the little cars. Personally, head-wise, I don't have any problems. I'm 5'6", so yes, taller people may have a problem, but for them, I guess the ragtop version or the cabriolet would be nice. Let's drive it out and do it from the outside. A couple things I've noticed: the onboard diagnostic plug does not have a cover. Shouldn't be a big problem, but it's just, I guess, in order to produce cheap cars, corner will be cut. Again, as mentioned earlier, you do have your power outlet here. You do have a connector for an auxiliary DVD player, whatever you want to rock in. You do have your USB connectors charging the phone, or just plug in your USB stick with all your music, so you don't really, and then you can run it through the so-called media center, which is optional and installed in this car. That might be a way, so you don't carry lots of CDs. You do have another charger here. That's just a charger in the glove compartment. Everything else works actually nice and handy. It's a small car, so don't really expect too much going on fancy wise. You can always overload with electronics, but I think that's about the most convenient pieces. You do have your onboard phone system, so you can actually receive and dial out, Bluetooth connecting, of course, with your phone. You have your standard cruise control behind the steering wheel. Let's see if we can get this done here. And you have the same on the other hand. That controls your onboard monitor regarding phone settings. On the right side it controls your radio, so it does interact with the computer, convenience center, media center, whatever convenience features are built in. Everything else standard layout. You do have your heat control, your blower system, which also works if you push it as your SC activation, inside outside air, and of course the distribution, which vent they come out. Otherwise, that's it. Let's see how the long term is, and later I add a little driving to it. Okay, obviously you can see it is a small car. It's a two-door, but it's nice so far. It does have the upgraded 15-inch aluminum wheels, which is nice. It does not have run-flat tires, but it's just different options. It's actually a nice small car, kind of bright today. We do have the trunk here, as you can see. It's not the biggest, but you have to work with. The backrests are adjustable to your needs, but they're not really so that's what it is. Let's take a peek in the engine compartment. Okay, typical layout for small cars. I mean, the spark plugs are under the plastic cover, but everything you need is actually there. You do have the battery in easy reach, you do have your container for the brake fluid, you do have your coolant, and you have your washer fluid. Oil, it takes regular oil, so you don't really have to go with synthetic. So that's basically your option how you want to start out. Okay guys, I'm back with a little driving experience. Let's see how the little Fiat performs on small roads. I mean, obviously Italian heritage, so it's made not for the interstate, not necessarily comfortable crossing from here to, hold on, let's save the animals for a second. Alright, that was my good deed for the day. Just made sure the turtle can cross the street. Okay, back to the driving experience. Yes, seatbelt. Okay, seatbelt. Zipper, everything is closed. Fly, yes. Okay, that's a small road. Let's get a little spirited. The sport button, as I said before, enables you to elevate your shifting points. The steering tightens up a little bit, and it's a little bit more handy. It feels nice. Suspension is stiff for this part. There is no excessive movement in the whole chassis. It quiets down quite quickly. It's nice. Transmission, as I mentioned earlier, it really shifts gradually up. So there is no, I noticed this from Fiat, some German Opels have this. When you shift through the gears, there is always a fraction of a delay. You get used to, but it's just odd, because when you have a manual transmission, you don't wait 2 seconds either before you move into the next gear. So that definitely is nice. The car handles nice. It's small enough. It's like a Fiat. Obviously it's a small car close to the road, so you don't have the bouncy transmission, very stiff. Let's do a quick stop here and obey the traffic laws. And just want to show you what happens if you push the sport button. Okay, you see everything changes to a different color. You do have on your eco gauge, you have it in red, which obviously if you drive sporty, who cares about economy? And your RPM gauge also illuminates in red. That's the difference. The steering wheel gets a little tighter. It's a nice feature. I mean, of course, most modern cars have a little oversteering. It's just a safety issue, so you don't swerve off the road. It does actually handle nice, and if you anticipate it, it's not so bad. I mean, keep in mind the tires are only 185/70, I believe, so you don't have the big wide footprint, but overall it's quite a nice handling. Even on this tiny small road, we're about 65 miles an hour. Not a bad thing. And again, it's a little bumpy. I can see it from my view, but the Fiat takes it quite easy. So wind noses are also absolutely quiet. Yes, you do hear a little wind, but no problem whatsoever. So yes, it does handle nice on little curvy roads. The brakes are sufficient, has 4 disc brakes all the way around. You noticed it shifted down. It does have a 6-speed Tiptronic, so you can actually make use of whatever you think is right for your shifting. But so far, I mean, yes, we're still under 100 miles of owning the car. I didn't have any complaints regarding shifting. So that's it for now, maybe more later.